Yep, guys, it's about that time. You knew I was going to review it sooner or later, but welcome to Think About It Reviews, and we're talking Gods of Egypt. Now, Gods of Egypt is directed by Alex Proyas. It's starring Brendan Thwaites, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Gerard Butler. We all know that. Chadwick Boseman is in here. Lodi Young, a lot of other people, and a lot of controversy over this because it is an all pretty much white cat, or these are white people playing Egyptians. Um, I didn't really necessarily mind that when watching this film because it was very diverse and it didn't even feel like the back in the day Egyptian world. It felt like it took me back to Jupiter Ascending. Now, I'm not saying like it was a bad or good film because Jupiter Ascending was horrible, but what I'm saying, it seems like it was just another kind of worldly world. Just happens to be with a lot of the Egyptians' history or gods and all that stuff. Of course, boy, I mean, you're not gonna get no realistic type history. You saw the trailer. You saw the trailer. These guys are transforming into gods. I mean, we meet Beck. Beck is just a mortal. He teams up with Horus, who's played by Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Horus is a god. Gerard Butler is Set. He is a god as well. Basically, this movie is about Horus. He's about to be the new king, but his uncle, played by Gerard Butler, Set, murders his father, takes over the kingdom, takes Horus's awesome eyes that makes him transform into this winged god. I think it was I forgot what god it was. I think it was I can't remember what god it was. But I know Gerard Butler, I think, is like kind of like an Anubis type god himself. So yeah, so Horus gets dethroned. I mean, Gerard Butler spares him. He spares him. He casts him out. I mean, he has no eyes. His father is dead. His mother is dead. Beck is in love with this woman Zaya, who that's the love of his life. Circumstances happen where he has to try to steal the eyes for Horus and has to team up with Horus to take down Set. That's basically the gist of this film. Now, um, this film, my expectations were super low. Like, I did not want to watch this movie, honestly, because the CGI looked not terrible, pretty much, and it just did not really interest me all too well. It did give me that Jupiter Ascending kind of vibe, but when I watched the film and after I got done watching it, I still am in a conclusion that it was not horrible, but it wasn't good. Like, there were some elements in this film that actually they had a great idea for, and it could have worked really well. But what took me out of the film is, I'm just gonna go straight to the point, was the CGI, was the special effects. It just took me out of the film. If the special effects were just better, I think I would have enjoyed this film a lot more. But you could just totally tell, like, some of the green screens in the background, the fact that they used the illusion of Horus being this giant, and he's a god amongst mortals, and he's bigger than everybody else, like super bigger. It didn't come off really clean. It did Maybe the camera angles didn't come off clean. Oh, the camera angles, direction was okay at first, but then it just kind of got bad when it comes to the action sequences. And overall, just the overall special effects just really, really took me out of the film. And then towards the last third act of this film, towards the end of this film, I questioned two things. Two things. The characters would say one thing and then they would do the other. And then I'd go back like, didn't you just say it like this? Like, a lot of the times the characters did stupid ass, like what they said, they lied basically. They lied to you. There was a lot of lying in this film. Um, However, there was some good things. I mean, there's this Anubis. Anubis comes out. He's like a guy who or a dog, I should say, who has brings passageways to all the dead and stuff. To they're gonna go to, I believe it's either they're gonna go to the afterlife and take their journey there, or be sucked by this like monster or whatever. But Anubis looks so cool. The dog like protector or guard or whatever. He looks so badass when they would always call him. I really liked his look and I really loved his voice. Gerard Butler, this guy has so much charm. He's getting older. He has so much charm that even if he's in a bad movie, he's the only really good thing about the film. And his character Set, was very one-dimensional. He wanted power, he wanted destruction. I mean, there was nothing really unique. There was nothing unique about this guy. And Horus himself, he was kind of whiny, and you didn't really, you couldn't really relate to him, especially with him and Beck. I did like him and Beck teaming up, though. I really like that relationship, the oddball kind of relationship, like a mortal and a god working together. But I felt like they dropped the ball on a lot of things with that relationship as well. It could have been better, but I did like it. I think the problem with that relationship, though, was also the acting from Brenton Thwaites as Beck. This guy just couldn't act. Him and Zaya just could not act in this film. Like, they were doing conversations. The dialogue, too, was horrible. And when those two were just going back and forth, and the film just felt way too fast paced. They never kind of slowed it down with the dialogue or slowed it down with the conversations. They're talking so fast that's not realistic. That's not how people talk. Like, oh yeah, I came from you worship the god of Horus. Oh, what's wrong with you, Zaya? Come on, Zaya, let's go. Like, it was like that. Like, you got to slow it down a little bit. You got to give some breathing room. You got to let us in a little bit. You can be sarcastic and a little bit faster, but you better have some good dialogue. And there was another. Chadwick Boseman plays Thoth, and Thoth is like the god of pretty much. He's the smartest mofo alive. Okay, I did like him at first, but then sometimes he became so over the top that I was like, okay, you had me, but then you're losing me. So this film was just overall, it's a mess, but there is good things about it. I did love the whole production design. I did love the whole spectacle of the whole world they created. I thought sometimes when the transformations to gods, like when they transform, and also just I thought that worked sometimes in the film, but sometimes it didn't, because that's because of the CGI. I did like the sun god, pretty much Horus's grandfather. I did like him. I mean, there was a lot of things to like about this. I did love the goddess of romance, or whatever her name was. I think it was, I don't know, Esla, or I forgot. I forgot who it was. I think it was Urshu or whatever. But she was really great. I did like her as well. She's very sexy too. That's Horus is basically trying to be baby mama. But honestly, this film is just not. You guys, no, just don't spend your money on it. It really, I'm not gonna say it wasn't horrible. It wasn't as horrible as I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't very good. It just, and then the climax, the action. Let's get into the action real quick. The action was just over everywhere. Like, the CGI, of course, played the role of not being very good, but you also had the direction and just how he directed this action sequences. It was just a bunch of punching, a bunch of things you just couldn't really see. The camera angles were not very unique or creative. There was nothing really, as much as I love the production design, I love the world building that they did, there was nothing really too creative in a direction, and which is very, very disappointing in a film like this. I felt like this film could just been so much better if they were given, if there was at some point they said, let's give a little bit more money to fix this, money to fix the CGI. Let's make these characters a little bit more unique, and just overall, I just felt like they had things going for them, but it just didn't fall into place, and they didn't really look at themselves and says, yeah, we could fix a lot of these errors here and there. But overall, it just wasn't that great of a film. And at one point, I thought I was watching a Fantastic Four movie, or Fantastic Four 2, I should say, film. And I'll just leave it at that right there. So, no, I do not recommend this film. It actually made me think about Troy and how underrated that film is. I really love Troy, and I kind of was thinking, like, I wish I would have had another kind of Greek mythology type film, or at least another kind of gladiator type film where it's very realistic, dirty, and just Oscar worthy. But overall, that's not what we got. And even Exodus, or Exodius, or whatever it's called, Gods of Egypt, like, I thought that film was going to be pretty sweet with the biblical, type epic that was, but it wasn't epic. It was very disappointing. I did not like that film at all. So this film made me go back to kind of revisit a lot of the films I saw that was kind of similar to this, and it made me put it where it is. And right now, it's just not. It it's whatever. It's a film that you do not have to watch whatsoever. But I took my mother, I took my grandma, and I took my cousin to go see this film. And my mother is the one that wanted to see this film, and she said she really, really enjoyed it. So some people will get enjoyment out of this, and I know another person, one of my coworkers, really did like this film as well. So I mean, by all means, some people are going to like this film, but I think the majority of people are just really going to be not digging this film at all. So no, I don't recommend it. I don't even recommend you checking it out on Redbox or anything like that. It's just kind of, it's there, and it's something that you don't have to watch. But if you guys want to watch it, you go ahead. That's why it's called Think About It Reviews. It's just my opinion, but that's all I really have to say. Please hit that subscribe button for more movie reviews. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts if you have checked this film out. Did you like it or did you not like it? And like I always say, guys, grab a seat, make sure you got some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the cinema.